For 2 years, Obinze searched from land to land to find medicine men who were powerful enough to help him cross into the river world. At this time, fables were told of men like Ojadili who crossed the divide between the living and the dead, humans and spirits. Obinze's journey led him to a medicine man called Akuta, who made the wish which had eluded him seem a light thing. I will help you get into the river world if that is what you seek. I have been there on many occasions in search of powers and to warn Ogbanje children to stop coming back to their parents. I know the river world. It is full of power, full of pretty girls like the one whom you so seek to be given back to you. I must warn you, it is also full of deception. Are you sure you want to go there, young man? Yes, I am. Then it will cost you Ishi Ezego Iri, 10 counts of Ezego ancient currency. Obinze counted out the money and laid it on the floor. Now strip yourself of all you have on you and bathe in that pool. Hastily, Obinze denuded himself of all he had on his body and entered a pool of green water. With zest, Obinze began to bathe in the pool. Akuta made an observation as Obinze bathed himself. The pool never gleams except a spirit appears in it. Who did you say you are? Before Obinze could draw enough breath because of the greenish water which choked his breath to answer to the question, Akuta drew a machete with a sharp, jagged edge and sent a blow on Obinze's back. A thick splash of blood exploded on the surface of the pool, and Obinze sunk in. Akuta began to dance around the pool, making some incantations and waiting for Obinze to resurface from under the pool. To Akuta, Obinze was a rogue spirit sent to steal his powers. When the wait for Obinze to surface from under the pool seemed unending, Akuta threw some black powder into the pool, and a little storm started in the pool and threw Obinze to the surface of the pool. He was lifeless and was bleeding a lot. Alas, he bleeds like mortals and yet appears like a spirit in the pool. Who is this man? Wondered Akuta. With a wooden hook, Akuta drew Obinze closer to himself and lifted him out of the pool. He ran to one of the earthen pots in his shrine and removed some black mixture, forced Obinze's mouth open and squeezed some of it in. He moved back and waited, still holding his machete. Obinze jolted back to consciousness with a shout and his eyes flaming. Oh, I see you are mortal, but a part of you is joined to a goddess. She is the one whom you seek. Lie in your face. I have to attend to your wound now. The machete I attacked you with is not meant for humans. Lie on your face. I have to attend to your wound lest in some minutes' time you change to a monster and begin to hunt my land for the flesh of both beasts and men. Akputa's words shocked Obinze. Quickly he turned and lay on his face. Already he was beginning to feel some strange movement in his body and unusual strength surging from within him. Akuta looked some herbs and put them into the deep wound on Obinze's back. The pain was so much that Obinze wailed, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" and passed out. In his voice, Akuta could decipher the sound of the voice of the beast. Obinze was already turning. Hours passed, and Obinze woke up only to see himself in chains and ropes and thick furs all over his body like a beast of the field. There was no sigh of Akuta in his shrine. With amazing force and strength, Obinze trashed himself to snap the chains and ropes, but he couldn't. He tried many times but failed to free himself. Hours passed, and he began to feel weak and fell into sleep yet again. By night, he wasn't sure if it was a dream or not. Some beasts came. They stood on 2 feet like humans and had thick furs all over their bodies, and had extremely long and sharp claws and also teeth like wolves, and surrounded him in Akputa's shrine. He could tell what they had come for. Though they spoke no word, he could tell their thoughts. Shockingly, his mind had become one with theirs. With amazing speed, the beast began to rip Obinze's flesh apart. He wailed in pain and cried out to Akuta for help, but there was no sign of him. In the river world, Akuta sat with a few elder gods communing in secret tongues. A man has come to me, asking to be crossed over into the river world. He intends to come and demand that Urenma be returned to him as wife, said Akuta. Where is this man now? Asked Elder Gordonsha. He is chained in my shrine. He has turned into a beast. Why did you turn him to a beast? The man is a mystery. I have not seen his likes before. He carries within him a part of Princess Urenma. So when I saw the sign in my pool, I attacked him with Ndana. My medicine couldn't heal him before he turned into one of the cursed beasts. Go back and send him to us as he is. We have a use for him in his present condition. Immediately, Akuta left for the world of men. When he left, the gods continued to commune. Now Urenma's heart shall no longer go after her mortal husband, when she sees him as a cursed beast. This brings her forbidden longing to an end, said Nsha. By morning, Akuta emerged from his pool of green water, and to his greatest shock, saw Obinze completely healed from his beastly nature. Around the shrine were heads, limbs, and different body parts of the beast that had attacked him in the night. In shock, Akuta asked, "What are you? When I left you for the river world, you had turned into a cursed beast. Please tell me, what are you and what are these things in my shrine?" "My name is Obinze. Back where I came from, I'm a legend. I want you to send me to the river world now." "Yes, I will. But first you will move back into the pool. When you take some portions which I will give you, you will sink into the pool. I will bring you up and lay your body on that unkpoko, native bed/bench made with raffia tree branches. For safety purpose, I will cover your body with opaque leaves and other portions. I will lay your amour beside you. When you wake up in the river world, you will have them ready for battle." "Shall we start now?" asked Obinze. "Yes, get into the pool." Obinze did, and Akuta began to throw into the pool all sorts of powders till they formed a cloud on the pool. Akuta ran to one of his pots and brought out a portion and gave it to Obinze to eat. Obinze ate and sunk into the river. Akuta caused another storm in the pool and Obinze's body floated to the surface. He took it and placed it on an enkpoko. He applied opaque leaves and many other mixtures on his body and lay his amour beside him. He ran outside and cut some fresh leaves and covered Obinze's body with them. In the river world, Obinze woke up. Beside him were his machete, bow and arrows. For once since he beheaded Urenma, he felt the full strength of Urenma's hairs all over his body. He picked his amour and sprang to his feet. The river world was an endless stretch of snow-white waterland filled with infernal creatures of different sorts, trees, animals of the types he had not seen, and houses which seemed as though they had life of their own. He felt small and lost in that vast world. Still rotted to his feet and wondering which direction to go, he heard a voice. "Hide, a battle is upon you! Hide!" Obinze ran behind a thick, lush green plants and hid himself. The plant spread wide its branches like an octopus. Within the plant, more than 100 eyes flicked open and began to glare at him. From within them, a monster voice spoke very fast. "You are not from this world, are you?" "No, I am not. I am from the world of men." "Where people fall in love, right?" "Yes, where people fall in love." The harsh monster voice changed to a tender voice. "The children of the gods have told us a lot about your world. They have beautiful tales about love in your world. I am in your world because of my love. My wife is a child of the gods and was taken from me because she loved me and shown kindness to my people. I want her back. I see. Men don't come here often seeking to be given one of our beautiful damsels to them as wife. Look up." Obinze looked up and saw 6 strong men whose handsome looks cannot be described by human words, holding long giant machetes. The plant continued, "They have come for you. I cannot protect you from them, and no one in this river world can. But I will give you a secret. You will have to fight and fight till the elder gods sit and ask you what you want. If you are thinking of negotiating with the elder gods, you will die here. When Ojadili was here, he fought the gods to a submission. They had to ask him what his mission was. You will have to do the same." Without much ado, the plant threw Obinze out of its cover and shouted, "Here is the stranger whom you seek. Kill him." The 6 spirit warriors bore down on Obinze violently. The elder gods were in a meeting discussing how to present to Urenma the calamity which befall Obinze. They wanted her continued desire to see him permanently destroyed. They knew Obinze was going to be sent to them as a cursed flesh-eating creature. Their intention was that Akuta was going to send Obinze to them as a cursed flesh-eating creature. Their intention was to present him in that form to Urenma before destroying him. While the meeting went on, a monitoring serpent spirit barged into their meeting and announced, "The mortal whom you spoke of, my lords, is here but has not arrived in the form you mentioned. He has come in his form as a whole and complete mortal man. He is no beast at all." "Then kill him! Send the 6 guards, bring me his head here," Nisha yelled. The monitoring serpent spirit slithered off with haste to go deliver the command to the 6 spirit warriors. Nisha turned to a very high-ranking elder god and barked, Find Urenma, subdue her and keep her under lock before she get a wind of the intruder's presence. To a high-ranking guard of the river world, Nsha ordered, I will not have another Ojadili on my lands. Now go and close the portal which allowed the mortal into our world. Here and today, Obinza dies. The 6 spirit warriors were in motion descending towards Obinza. Obinza laid down his arms and shouted, I have no desire for battle. I have only come to speak with the elder gods to release my wife to me. The 6 spirit warriors swung their machetes toward his head. The plant which he had confided in picked Obinza's machete and raised it above his head. The machetes of the 6 warrior spirits crashed upon Obinza's machete and the spirits bounced back. Obinza's machete fell next to him. The plant yelled at him, Fool, fight now or you die here. The plant sent a wooden shield toward him, and Obinza picked it and his machete and poised to duel with the 6 spirit warriors. The machetes of the 6 spirit came swinging toward Obinza yet again. He raised the wooden shield to protect himself. The machetes of the 6 spirits landed on the shield and shattered it and sliced into his shoulders and sent him to the ground violently. The 6 spirits standing over to sever his head, Obinza was forced to swing his machete at them. His blow sent them back. They were surprised and said to one another with one voice, He is not entirely human. They dropped their machetes and transformed into 6 saber-toothed monsters. Obinza was scared and took off in no certain direction. After running for a while, he turned to see if he had escaped the 6 saber-toothed monsters. Behind him there was no sign of them. He saw a huge black rock and ran toward it to hide. As soon as he squatted behind the rock, a heavy foot gave him a bloody kick to the face and sent him flying into the air. Obinza did well to hold on to his machete. When he landed on the ground, the 6 saber-toothed monsters sprang on him. Obinza was purely acting on instinct. The moment he saw them, he rolled on the ground and swung his machete at them. His machete caught the monster in front on the shoulder and sent it crushing above him. The other 5 landed on him and began to dig their claws into his flesh, yanking off chunks of bloody flesh. One of the monsters opened its humongous mouth, filled with a set of heart-stopping teeth, and tried to force Obinza's head into it. The monster's teeth left deep layers of cut on Obinza's head. Yelling in pain, Obinza began to stab and swing his machete at them insanely. As soon as he got a little space, he jumped to his feet. While on the ground, he found a secret. A little effort in the river world had released a lot of energy. With that in mind, he decided to make a stand and fight. As the 6 saber-toothed monsters regrouped, Obinza raised a cry and ran toward them. The 6 saber-toothed monsters were surprised and came for him nonetheless. One was limping. Obinza decided to target that one. When he drew closer to the wounded monster, he buried his machete into its heart and the monster went limp on the ground. Though it did not die, it could not rise to fight. At that moment, Urenma's hair in his body began to pulsate with great power. Obinza had taken the strength of a warrior spirit. That act elevated him to the rank of a warlord in the river world. The other 5 saber-toothed monsters ground their charge to a halt when they saw the energy around Obinza's body. As though he was under a surreal influence, Obinza charged at the 5 saber-toothed monsters. As he swung his machete at them, all he could remember was the day he and his wife took a bloody battle to Ogidi, his army and the 12 gods. When the battle was over, the 5 saber-toothed monsters were all lying impotent on the ground, and Obinza was badly lacerated. He was deeply torn open by the bits and claws of the 5 saber-toothed monsters, and yet he lived. As he looked himself over, he knew he was no longer the Obinza who set out from Yucca to bring back his wife. Something had happened to him. It began the night some beasts came to tear him to shreds while he was himself a beast. He had not time to figure out what had happened to him because there was more battle to fight. Wondering what next to do, Obinza ran back to the plant he spoke to earlier. I have put down the 6 spirit warriors. How do I find the elder gods? I want to demand they give me back my wife. Human, you have succeeded in proving to the river world that you are dangerous. Now our world will throw its worst at you, mortal man. Follow the sun. It will lead you to the elder gods. There are too many sunlights here. Which of them do I follow? The plant laughed. It has begun. If you find the true sunlight, you find your way out of the river world. I don't want my way out of the river world. I want to meet with the elder gods. The plant didn't answer him. It simply disappeared into the ground. Obinz lifted his eyes to the sky and decided to follow the most beautiful sun in the river world sky. The sun was blue in color and made the river world look more beautiful than it actually was. With much strength he ran as his flesh gradually began to close up. Everything Obinz saw in the river world was opposite to what he grew up to know or hear in the world of men. While he journeyed through the river world following the blue sun in the sky, he did not know he was heading toward the dungeon of rogue spirits. Obinze has shown himself a mighty man, but I don't like this entertainment. I want emissaries sent to Akuta. Tell him to behead Obinze's body and send it to us now, demanded Nsha. Immediately emissaries were sent to Akuta. When they arrived, Akuta was happy. He wanted to know how Obinze was faring in the river world. Tell me, the mortal has not been captured, has he? He has subdued the 6 spirit warriors, and for this reason, Nsha has demanded you give us his head now. No. This one is special, we just can't kill him. The 6 spirit warriors will revive and live forever, but Obinze won't if we kill him. I believe Ojidili has been reborn and no one knows it. Shut up and give up his head. Akuta drew his jagged machete known as Ndana and attacked the spirits. From his mouth he dispelled disarming powder at them and forced them into his green water pool. The emissaries disappeared. Akuta went down to the ground in a heap and began to wail. He knew he was a dead man for what he had done. His head shall be pulled off his body by the spirits when they return. Because of his desire to understand Obinze, whom he considered the reincarnation of Oshadili, he risked his life. Having little time to sorrow, he ran and applied more protective charms on Obinze's body, took the Andanya and made a stand beside Obinze's body to fight whoever would come to behead his body. Obinze was running past a tree when the tree bent down and took him up with one of its branches. Up in the tree, every branch, twig and leaf was turned into a weapon against Obinze. Obinze could only swing his machete at every direction in the tree. The branches were too many and attacked him at the same time. On the ground, a swarm of giant scorpions were rushing to climb up the tree. Obinze didn't want to still be on that tree when the scorpions come up, so he began to hack at the branches madly to cut himself loose. When the tree realized the man it had suspended amongst its branches won't give up fighting, it tossed him at the giant scorpions on the ground. Obinze landed on one of them and plunged his machete into it. He continued to fight until he made a way for himself and bolted off deeper into the dreaded dungeon.